This is Deron Smallcomb. I'm the supervising attorney at Modern Law Group. Today in beautiful Miami, Florida, where one of our many offices are and one of my favorite places to be. You gotta love the weather here. I love visiting this office. It's awesome. It's awesome. Love Miami. Our other offices throughout the country, we have in San Diego on the other side of the country, and in between we have Chicago, Dallas, and New York, of course. So in any of these places, we have somebody you could speak with. Attorneys, paralegals, we probably speak your language, and we could sit down, see what we could do to help you out, assess your case, and at minimum, point you in the right direction, whether you work with us or not. All right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about business-related immigration, okay? I'm going to kind of do an overview here. I'm not going to go into any one thing too much, but I'm going to kind of give you an idea as to whether you might qualify for something. Now, there's certain groups of people that qualify when it comes to business-based immigration. All right, the first one, which is obvious to most, would be investors. Investors are generally welcome anywhere, right? If you're bringing money to the table, most people are going to look at what you've got, all right? So there's a couple of different ways to invest in the United States and to either get a visa or perhaps even a green card with it. And I'm going to talk about both of those. One of them is called an E2. Now, an E2 visa is not available to everyone, all right? And there's a whole list of countries, but I guess the best way to summarize the countries that are on that list, they're generally pretty friendly with the United States. Most of our so-called friends in the world are on that list. And so you probably know if you live in one of those countries, and if you don't. So if you're in one of those countries, by the way, you could Google it online, E2, treaty investor countries, and see if you're on it. You may be eligible for an E2. Now, an E2, that is a lower level investment that allows you to get a visa. And it's generally a longer duration visa that you could renew over and over again. It doesn't lead to a green card, not without some special immigration path, but it does allow you to live here, work here, bring your family, everything else, and the investment bar is pretty low. There's no set amount that they put out there, but it's generally accepted that 50,000 can work, that 100,000 is pretty safe. And most people, when they do something like that, they're investing in a business in which they work. And so a lot of people are buying franchises, right? So you might see people that are buying, let's say, a UPS store or a FedEx store, or one of these franchises that you find in one of these kind of smaller strip malls that don't cost a ton of money but have revenue coming in. It's a pretty turnkey operation and you don't need to think much about it, but you're going to be the primary owner and you're going to be working in this business, and as long as your business stays viable, then you're going to generally continue to be able to renew this visa for you and your family. So it's a pretty awesome option. It's kind of a favorite for the people that qualify for it. Of course, let us know if you're interested, and we'll, like any of these visas that I'll talk about, and we'll walk you through it and see which one's best for you. The investment visa that some people are eligible for, and when I say some, quite frankly, almost everybody in the world that's eligible based on nationality. However, you need to have a large amount of money to invest, and that's called the EB5. There are some lower thresholds that go below $1 million, but generally it's $1 million or more to invest, and the amount is dependent on how you invest. Now, you could invest in your own enterprise. Let's say you're going to invest in a new hotel construction that's going to employ so many people, and it has to be at least 10 people that it's going to employ. And you could do that, and you can monitor it and track it and do all the reporting and everything else. Sure, it's a way to go about doing your own investment that you want to be a part of, but it's very hands-on, okay? A lot of reporting to be done. Projects that are managed by somebody else so that you could put your money in that investment, and that investment will do the monitoring and reporting and to make sure that it remains eligible as an EB5 investment. And then you could also invest in regional centers and areas that need economic help, quite frankly. And that's where the threshold for investment goes a little bit lower. Now, I'm not using a number on it because it changes all the time. Literally, if I say the number on this and you watch this video 6 months from now, it's probably going to be wrong. But it's generally less than $1 million if you go into one of these economic areas and with a regional center in one of them. And sometimes the regional centers are authorized, sometimes there's not, but there are always opportunities to do the EB5. The great thing about the EB5 is that it leads to a green card. It takes some time. It takes longer for Chinese nationals in particular and Indian nationals, but it is very doable for almost anybody that has the money to invest. Just your capital is going to be locked up for a long time, but it is your way to permanency. All right, those are your investment type categories. The other options that I'm going to talk about, one more based on running an existing business that you want to expand. That's an L1 visa. All right, so an L1 visa could be for two things. One of them is because it's probably your business and you're running it as an executive or a manager or both, and then you want to bring that business to the United States. Now, this isn't going to be for everybody. If you have a small bakery, you know, where you and your wife work, you know, and you do a very small amount of business each year, this is probably not going to be the one that's going to work for you. But if you're working with a, let's say, a company that we've helped in the past was a large tour operator that had 50 employees and they wanted to expand their market to the United States, well, that made a lot of sense, and they were able to do that based on the size of the company and the involvement of the people that were investing in it. We've had goods manufacturers and distributors that have very high revenues that are distributing goods all over the planet. They wanted to expand to the United States, being that it's the largest market in the world, set up warehouses, hire employees. That was a no-brainer. It was approved on the spot, quite frankly, one of the quickest ones I've ever seen done. And this is a great option because, quite frankly, it leads to a green card if you maintain the business, and it does what you say it's going to do to the government. So you present your business plan, the business plan works, you say, I'm going to keep doing this, I want a green card, you're generally going to get one. So it's a really awesome path. There's really no investment other than investing in your own business expansion, which is pretty cool. It's not somebody else doing it for you. The other type of L1 visa is based on specialized knowledge. So let's say you have a software company that is based in the United States and India, for example, and you have somebody in your Indian operation that knows a certain type of coding that nobody else knows, right? And he's your main guy, and he needs to be in the United States for 6 or 12 months or maybe even longer to do that type of specialized work in the US. That's your guy, that makes sense, and you could justify that as an L1 for that person as well, all right? So those are all the ones that really have to do with your own business or investing in a business. The other ones are going to be based on your talent, all right? So talent-based visas could be an O1. Say you're a professional athlete, professional musician, artist, something like this. This is going to be the way for you to come here. Let's say you're a top-ranked, you're in the UFC, and there's going to be fights in the United States. Okay. Well, you need to be able to get here, and you're getting paid, so you can't just be a visitor. You need to actually have authorization to be doing your profession in the United States. So you could do that. Maybe you're coming here to train others. Maybe you have a league, you play soccer, or you play another sport that's going to be in the United States for a season. That's the one for you, or an art exhibition. These are all pretty awesome ways to come to the United States for a period of time and make money doing it. Talent could also be fit into the type of work that you do. So there's a thing called the National Interest Waiver, and this is really awesome for the high-level STEM workers out there. So if you possess a knowledge or a specialty, let's say, in the sciences, or a high level in business, or architecture, or something like this, where it's in the interest of the United States to bring somebody of your level here and allow them to start their lives here because it's a benefit to everybody in the United States, then that is a national interest waiver, right? You don't need to have a sponsor for that work. You don't need an employer. They want you to come on your own because your service that you offer is invaluable and you could get work anywhere, and we don't have enough people doing it. So that's another great way to be able to come to the United States. Now, of the two I discussed, if you are on such a high level, I mean, you're talking like, not only you're a professional athlete, you're an all-star, and you want to get a green card because of it. We've helped Olympians do this in the past. This is an EB1 type petition. And so we had somebody once that was going to wanted to participate in the Olympics for the United States. They were at such a high level, and the United States wanted them to be in the Olympics for us, that they were able to get a green card to do so. And not everybody qualifies for this, but it's also a great path to be able to come here. So look, these are just kind of a scratch in the surface of the various ways to come here based on either your talent or your investment capital or a combination of the two. This is something that really only an attorney can tell you what's probably going to be best for you. And so I encourage you to give us a call. We're happy to speak with you and kind of analyze your case. If we can help you, we'll offer our services. If we can at least point you in the right direction, whether we can help you or not, it'll be a benefit for you to have spoken with us. That's our goal, is to help everybody's immigration path to the United States easier. And give us a ring, send us an email, send us a text, set something up online, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Appreciate you listening this long. Again, my name's Deron Smallcomb, Modern Law Group, and we're here to help. Thank you.